Why is this something you feel that is that important?
Well, shape group is an important voice in this battle to the recognition of imaging in detection of early atherosclerosis.
Now, in Europe, there's already been a number of important studies. As we heard today, there's a study that's just kind of getting wound up. So why is do you think that it makes sense to have another study or another component of an existing study, depending on how it's structured? Why is that worth the time and the resources to throw against that?
Well, the study we learned about today is a big study, but it doesn't have anything with ultrasound. And I think ultrasound is as important as CT, and it has a lot of advantages that we need to explore more. So any opportunity where I can throw in that knowledge or those competences, that's where I come.
Good. Now, do you see patients?
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about the patient feelings about imaging and what their reactions are when they are faced with the outcomes of that process.
So obviously you don't want to have an imaging study if you don't want to know the answer. So people who come are people who are either worried or they have an idea that maybe in my family there might be something or they've heard about it. So we do the scan and if there's nothing on it, that's fine. They can go on and do whatever they've done despite blood tests or whatever. And on the other hand, if we find something that signals that you may develop a problem and you show it to them live on the screen, it makes for most people quite an impression. I'm quite sure, although it's not very well documented, that really has a lot of impact on people's adherence to therapy.
Good. What are you most excited about learning from an additional SHAPE study or SHAPE trial that isn't already known? Is it really all about the IMT?
No, I think we know all we need to know about IMT. We know it doesn't work, so we don't want to waste more time on that. No, but there is very little data active to show that the addition of imaging saves lives or saves or spares heart attacks. So we still need that trial. We heard today that the largest trial conducted so far is with 1,000 people, and that was underpowered. So, the big European trial, great, we'll know in 5 years. But, one study, you will always need more than one study to convince the most negative people.
Now, if we were to have you go in front of a group of people with deep pockets, what would you tell them is the compelling reason they should contribute their hard-earned money to this research?
Probably because this is today the most effective way of picking people who think they're well and who are not. And obviously the other point of the point we discussed today, the de-escalation issue is, especially with the current guidelines that came out 2 years ago, almost everybody in America above 60 was going to need treatment, which seems illogical. And this is one way to pick out those who don't.